sketch something out on a book plate. So warm up a little bit. Trying to act like a dog that hasn't gotten multiple ginger snaps already today. You leaving me already? Okay. What? Alright, my warm-up sketch is still going to be a werewolf though, because it's Wednesday. I think she started to put 2 and 2 together that I will buy her presents and cookies. Because now she's just standing in the doorway of my office. Facing the door, or like, body facing the door, but she's looking at me like, you gonna give me a cookie so I don't leave? And being blackmailed by my dog. Hi. Now she's just standing on the exact opposite side of the camera. Hi, sweetie. Are you the opposite of a ham? Yeah? What are you doing, dog? She just tripped on something, but I don't know what. Ryan, place. Place. Stop standing right behind me. You're obviously tripping on stuff. Even though there's nothing behind me but your bed. Crank the fan up. Oh, she's mad at me. I didn't give her a cookie for doing plates this time. She's mad at me. You have had many cookies. Stop glaring at me. Started out as a relatively benign sweet face, and I'm slowly turning it more gnarly. Hello, White Knight. How are you? Mic placement still sucks somehow. Hopefully you managed to fare the weather better than we did. I mean, actually, we didn't do too bad. We just lost power for a bit. Oh, my lord, this dog does not have any sense of self-preservation. Because she's like, oh, horrific winds that are knocking over trees? Yeah, I have the same thing. I got the studio office open, or the window open, and then I just cranked up the ceiling fan because for some reason 60 degrees is like cooking, or 50. Yeah, no, she very much wanted to go walking in the wind and pee on every branch that was blown into the street, and I'm like, I want to not be crushed to death. For the MGM stuff, no one that I know personally at this point, because I think everybody that was at those studios hasn't been for a bit. But it still very much sucks. A lot of people that, like, I don't know personally, but other friends know of, or that friends of friends. There's also a big closure amongst VFX studios as well. that all under one big umbrella corp kind of thing. So that was another 4,500 jobs. It's like, even though AI is finally downtrending, it's still brutal out there for creatives. Yeah, I know that feeling. Unfortunately, we all do, but that sucks. Especially since what their internal memo was all, we gotta get our what is it? Their swagger back. Every big studio CEO right now, all useless. Why I've like, I kind of stopped applying. There's a few jobs that I was going to apply to, and the thing is I know there's so many other people applying for it that they're so on the ball because the desperation and everything. And then I find out essentially within like 24 hours that the job is either unpaid, they're looking to fine-tune their AI with your stuff instead of actually giving you work, or it's just straight up a scam. It's like every single job I've been wanting to apply for has ended up being some level of scam or ripoff. Yeah, that was kind of one of the reasons why I canceled the stream yesterday, because, well, A, the power went out and my alarm didn't go off, but then the other one was, I was just in a foul mood. I'm not in a particularly great mood today either, I'm sorry. Just between the studio closures and had a ton of cancellations on the Kickstarter. I was just... all my spoons were gone. I need some kind of mental, or like a visual, like a pin that has a certain amount of spoons in it, and then every spoon... Everything that requires a spoon from you, you pull it out, and then you're just like, you let people see your battery drain in real time. Oh yeah, let me know how ad breaks end up being. Because I did tweak those to essentially be... I think they're only like once an hour now. Not that I wouldn't mind ad revenue, but I don't wanna I hate ads, so I don't want to make other people suffer through ads if I don't have to. What job did your friend have on Wonder Woman? I hope they luck out and manage to land on their feet somewhere. I know pointy ears don't make a terrible amount of sense on werewolves, but I always like that look. My dog has thoroughly abandoned me. Apologies. I'm gonna mute for a hot second while they do whatever they're doing. Anyways, I'm actually just muted right now because I think there's someone at the door, so the dogs are currently going crazy. Alright. Ah, sorry about that. There's a locker in my office. And I'm pretty sure Nesta locked the other two up somewhere. Office, studio. Same thing. I really wish this stuff could layer better. That's just the paper, though. You can't exactly get high quality paper with a sticker back. Yes. We'll go very furry werewolf. Had to stay on theme. Ah! Alright, I'm gonna migrate that for now. Why is this here? Being attacked by colored pencils. Hi girl, go lay down. I'm not opening the door, you're just gonna bark at the other door. What? Lay down. I'm not giving you a cookie every time you lay down on your bed. She's definitely figured out how to game that system. Alright, so, picking up where we last left off on this thing. There we go. I intended to put a little work in it. Yesterday I ended up working on... Or was it over the weekend? When did we touch this last? Monday? Monday. I ended up working on a digital illustration, that glass carousel I was working on a few streams ago. So, the thing is, I kinda don't like the way the head and the neck is going anymore. Like, I like the idea, but I don't like the angle. So I'm gonna do an experiment that I haven't tried before. Y'all are gonna be with me in my guinea pig session. So this is a little tiny piece of Yule paper. I don't have much of this stuff left, but this is a good use for it. So you can see how semi-transparent it is. Now she's staring at my door. I'm not opening it. She looks so sad though. She's so sad, guys. She's so neglected. She can't go out and bark at a door. I'm a monster. Oh, he locked the other two outside. I'm trying to find... I'm missing a pencil. Or maybe I'm not. Alright. So what I'm going to try and do is redraw the head and neck on this. And if I can do it well enough, the way I'm picturing it in my head, I will redraw it. And then I will somehow cut it out without wrecking it, because this paper is not easy to cut. And then merge it into this one. Like, I'll blend out the background a bit, or maybe leave it depending on how it looks in the end. And then I will... Like I said, it's an experiment. We're gonna find out. You really need to see how much she is glaring at me right now. It is hilarious. Hold on a second. I am an absolute monster. Am I a monster, Raya? Am I so mean? My dog, everyone. Cute and sad. Maybe I should migrate Raya Cam to her pouty spot. Alright, so now I gotta figure out... Yeah, it's stuff falling on my thing. I'm angling it this way because how I cut it in might end up being part of this rib within a rib cage thing. I'm just going to chicken scratch lines it in. It might literally just be that the neck is not facing the way I like. these little crumbs are coming from, but they're everywhere. Alright, so now the other thing is that we want to change the angle on the head. That was very random. Did it only catch the last? Yeah, it only caught the last sentence. It's like, there's crumbs everywhere. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I do want to change the head to be more leading out this way than the current tucked in that it is. Or, like, skew it. Like, I might do a little both. A little of both. Can't win with his dog. Raya. Girl, where are you gonna go? You're just gonna go stare at the other door. You bark at it. You come back in here. Oh, God damn it. I'm not opening the other door. That's as good as you're getting. Why don't you lay down? I don't want her resenting my studio. So I don't want to lock her in here, but... hopefully not going to turn into a nuisance. I don't know, I think a little bit more skewed like that. So we still kept the tucked in jaw, but I'm making the skull shape follow the wolf skull a little bit more. And then if I can ideally get this to cut nicely, I'll leave that. I'll tuck it in under there. Oh yeah, so wait, I think while you were talking to your mom, I was asking, what did your friend do on the ill-fated Wonder Woman? Oh. they land on their feet somewhere. Oh, I just realized I drew this muscle over. I had the tongue in here. Oops. I still kind of like the tongue being that way. Doesn't have much of an impact either way. Oh, that's good. It's like I always wonder at what level does Twitch actually start paying any kind of bills? Like I have no dreams of getting to that. I know that's a fool's errand. But it's like, I know another artist that has like 11,000 followers, and I think she said she only gets like 20 bucks. You have to do insane numbers to actually, you know, be any kind of, getting any kind of bills paid. Do that zipper thing, which is what this section was. Why is now being pouty by the other door? Yeah. Oh man, good on him. It's like, even with my most insane following numbers, let's see. Back in Instagram's heyday, when I had like 53,000, that was like, people assume that that means money. It does not. Like, the best I got was like, I would get like sponsorship email things, but it was always obviously bots that never paid attention to the stuff I did, because it was almost always for makeup. And one time I got a real one from like the Paperlike company, which do screen protectors for iPads that you can draw on. And I did not see it. It went to my spam folder. And I would have actually liked that one because it was for their new iPad like desk lap companion thing. But yeah, that was as close as I got to making money off of a following on Instagram. And that wasn't even like making money, it was just they were going to send me the product for a review. Like it was, the payment was the product. Didn't even really know you could. Well, I guess DA eventually did open up a shop, didn't they? It's like I only really ever encountered people pretending to be me on DA and actually making money from there. That was the other reason why I don't do the Yzmas anymore. My Yzma Princess series. Those got stolen so much. It's like obviously people are still stealing, but when it's not fan art, there's way less motivation for the bots and terrible companies to take your stuff. Maybe if I want to use this to go all the way down to the shoulder? So I could blend it in with the fur. Told you no barking or I'm gonna close you into my office again. I discovered during the storms that she's fairly chill with thunderstorms. Green lightning, ooh. Pembies. I barely saw any lightning. I saw like 1 or 2 flashes. By the time it came here, it was pretty heavily overcast. So I kind of stopped paying attention to the windows to see stuff. I'm not entirely sure if I want to blend this completely right now, because if I'm going to cut this out and weave it into this piece below it, I'll probably want to blend those edges. So I think I'm going to leave this largely, like, as long as I know things are where they're going to be, I'll leave it unblended and then cut it. Right now, let's see, this has replaced my lower jaw zipper. It's not as obvious, but it's more dynamic. Fits the flow better. I'm not going and flipping back and forth all that much because I don't want to get too many oils for my hands on the paper. I'm just trusting in this semi-transparency and in my own memory to line these things up right. So, White Knight, I'm curious, do you play games, and if so, which ones? In, like, video games. So if you're really into a board game, or tabletop, that's also valid. I know you mentioned D&D. I'm just putting a decent amount of lines here, because I know this, since I'm doing the jaw zipper here, it's overlapping that one. I need to remove that one from existence. Those who may not have been here in the beginning and are confused as to what I'm doing. My mid-transformation werewolf, I didn't like this human skull part of, so I'm redoing it on a different piece of paper to cut out and layer on top. Hold on a second. Hold on, everybody. I will be right back. I smell electrical smoke.
Look, you and me on the Charles River. I could die right now, Clem. I'm just happy. I've never felt that before.
Sorry about that, everyone. I still don't know where it's coming from, but something shorted somewhere. Unfortunately, there's like 1,001 things plugged in because my partner has a lot of stuff connected outside. So I checked every outlet I could find, and I can't find anything. It's not getting worse, so I'm guessing something just shorted and then stopped. And I'm going to have to kind of ride him to organize and clean up all of his shit and figure out what it was. But yeah, if I suddenly have to end stream because the house goes on fire, you'll know why. It was like the last time I smelled this, it was one of the fish tank heaters shorted. Which was really sucked because it ended up killing one of my croaking catfish. But I cleaned up his skeleton, you know, let it naturally decompose on a garden bed, and then pulled it out and peroxide bathed it, and I put him on display. As morbid as that is, but he was a very cool looking fish. So it's messed. Oh, ow. Okay, sorry. I just touched the bottom of my teapot, which was on my little electric heater. Playing with fire literally today. But yes, so I'm kind of hoping it was just a heater shorting out, but that it didn't kill a bunch of fish. It didn't smell like it was coming from an aquarium. I'm not sure. Almost everything out there that's plugged in is part of Ernesto's hoard of either computer or fish aquarium stuff. I checked my laptop and my printer. They were good. Yeah, that's honestly something that, like, if we move and we have to actually sell this place, I'm digging up Xena. I was going to have her actually, like, professionally cleaned, but the person that offered to do it got very busy with their own Kickstarter book, and then I couldn't afford the alternative. And it just kind of, like, she went downhill. So she was old. I should have known it was coming and everything and made plans, but by that point I don't know. I was broke and I didn't. Yeah. So she got buried in the backyard. Oh, that's nice. I'm a little worried that if I do dig her up, because like we were talking about moving in like a year, if it's been too soon, because that would only put her at like in like a year and a half. Because it's like I buried her in burlap. I covered her in cheesecloth. Like I had some nice cheesecloth, like a big bolt of it, of fine cheesecloth. I buried her in that I mixed in like dried lavender and then sewed her in a burlap shroud over that. So she's not like 100% exposed to the elements. So I'm not sure I don't think she'd be completely decomposed. Or, you know, bones by the time I went to dig her up is the problem. I think this is getting relatively close to where I'll probably transfer it over. I think I mostly gotta figure out what I'm doing with this side of the neck. Since I'm moving the neck from forward to back, and that might be too... I may have destroyed most of my tooth there. I could erase a lot of it. That wasn't quite right. The lines, as nice as the lines look and they fit with the curvature of the neck, they don't really match the whole ribbons tying into each other. May have messed it up a little bit too much. That may have to be one I fix with an eraser after I blend it in. I'm just playing around here if I see if I want to add a couple more things. Just kind of match the flow. Alright. So essentially giving this a little bit more of an edge than I usually would because I'm going to be cutting this out. Smell the smoke. It's bothering me. But it's not getting stronger, it's just lingering. Yeah, like I said, this is an experiment. The original skull's fine, but it doesn't really quite fit the flow of the piece. Alright. Raya, what you paying your bed? Maybe I should move Raya Cam. She's in pouty mode at the door. That's my desk. Or my chair. So close. Does not want to stay in an angle. She's so grumpy. Oh, nothing. Messed it up. I used to have a pile of needed erasers in there. I don't know where they went. Okay. Oh well. I don't need the needed erasers right now. So I'm gonna switch that out of the way for now. Pull out. I'm going to turn the light on to be super on it just because. Which blasts it out a little bit for your viewing, unfortunately, but I'm cutting stuff. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. I think this is a new edge. Let's just test out down here for a bit. Not a bad edge. But yeah, this is so thick that even though I was applying decent pressure, it only busted through in one section. So I'm gonna probably have to do this at least twice. Yeah, I have been thinking about doing layered U-bolts. It's just there's like several pieces I have in mind that I guess are what I would say are more high art. And I haven't done them just because they'd be something that wouldn't translate well into prints. And I don't have a gallery. Yeah, there's one I've had in my head for like, God, I want to say at least 6 years. I've got all the stuff to do it. I'm just like waiting for a time when I'm not desperately trying to figure out finances that I can afford to spend time on a really cool 3D piece, like like 2D 3D blend that will look awesome in person and sell nothing for prints. And be very, very difficult to replicate, so probably only be done once. Okay, that's actually... I'm starting to learn the amount of pressure I need, which is a lot. To avoid... At least, since I'm cutting this out, I can actually manhandle the paper a little bit, since I typically have to avoid touching this paper as much as humanly possible because your oils on your fingers and your hands will mess up the fidelity. Fidelity of the paper. But since this is getting cut out, yeah. That's true. It's like if I could get... That's the other thing, is I have no idea how I would even submit the piece I've had in my mind for 6 years. If it would be a 3D or a 2D piece. Like, where would I submit it to? Now the only problem is I made this the whole dome. Because I wasn't totally sure. I don't think I can completely use the original lines on the werewolf head. The flesh that's coming in. So it's not quite the it's not gonna be quite flush up there is what I'm saying. But if I can get this to work, this weird little layering thing that I'm trying, I might just... Ooh, nope, I cut the wrong spot right there. Here. I didn't cut it all the way through. It's just now there's definitely going to be a spot where there's an obnoxious line. But anyways, I might actually try another overlay part where I use like, I either mix powdered graphite in with some clear acrylic, or maybe do a blend of black, clear acrylic and graphite to kind of get the same appearance. And then I'll try, I guess I should leave that in there until I cut this part, so it still has like more tensile strength. But yeah, I might try overlaying some, not like a ton of stuff, but like fur details in like a acrylic on top. Which I usually don't paint on this paper, even though that's what it's meant for. It's not meant for drawing. Because when I tried using India ink on it once, it never dried. But people do use acrylics on it, so maybe I should try again. Getting there. It is kind of a cool effect. Oh man, I just remembered. Where is it? I had bought a super teeny tiny tone knife. This is used by anime artists and comic book artists to scratch off the halftone screens, which I honestly only just discovered the existence of like a month ago when my friend April was using them to do her magic card backing AP proofs. I, for some reason, always thought that was done post. Like, even, you know, before Photoshop was a thing, I still thought someone overlaid just a basic halftone texture, not that it was a screen that people applied. This is... Right. Sometimes I get the feeling that people design things differently for no reason other than to be different. But this tightening device on this is terrible compared to basic X-Acto knife one. Alright, now we're gonna pick up all these tiny razor blades. Ooh, God! One of them flips out at me. . Alright, but I just remembered that I had this thing. So now it is time to try it. I'm curious. It seems like it's a thicker edge. Yeah, it's actually... I thought it would be more nimble, but it's a thicker edge, so it is not, but it is cutting way deeper. Not going to be quite as helpful for this as I thought. Please don't roll towards me, sharp object. Cut the side yet. Part. Feel it up a little bit. I should be avoiding touching the parts I'm actually going to be drawing on, but can't be helped all the time doing this. It's one reason why I got the gloves, but I can't do not fingerless. I need too much precision control to do fingerless. It will be very cool if this turns out how I think it will turn out. I think I'm visualizing it. I think it's gonna have a little bit harder edge than I was hoping. But that's the other reason why I'm debating doing that, if I can do that acrylic layering part, I might be able to do that to blend in the edges some. Man, if this wasn't such a pain in the ass, I would probably use this technique more often just for like doing a relief style illustration. This is kind of cool seeing the backing board come through in chunks. So we got the most finicky part done, so that's awesome. And so far I only really messed up once. But it wasn't completely unsalvageable, I just... There's going to be an obnoxious little line in one section. guy's got a little sunlit booty. She's so mad at me because I closed the door. I don't usually trap her in my office with me. It's just that there's people upstairs who will be coming downstairs, and she will bark incessantly at them if I leave the door open. Almost there. This is kind of like a generic little. I'm gonna put in. I didn't really draw a hard line here for what to do, so I'm just going for like fur adjacent appearance. I just realized I drew this little fluffy part to add in, and that would be a completely separate thing, which makes no sense to do it this way then. If I'm gonna do the acrylic blending, I'll just do that with that. Alright, where am I missing yet? I think just right here. Yay, just in time because my hands are getting crampy. Right, cover the sharp object so I don't accidentally stab myself. OG werewolf head. I may trim a little bit. I'm trying to see exactly what angle I'm going to go for. It's a better head, isn't it? Than the original. And this is how I circumnavigate Yupo paper not letting you erase and redraw. I'm gonna trim this little furry bit, I think, because it doesn't quite hit it flush. Trying to see if I can still salvage most of it. Here we go. It is weird how it's like, I think it's just because I haven't blended it, but it looks cooler in color or in tone than the background right now, even though it's the same material, same pencils. Yeah, Raya's mad because there's people here, so I locked her in my office so she wouldn't follow them around growling, and so now she's pouting and I had to move the camera. But yes. Hi, Helene. Alright, I'm going to blend this out over here. And I'm trying to think if I... Actually, hold on, before I do that. I'm seeing how much of the old head is showing through and how much I need to actually blend it away or erase it. I don't think I actually have to blend that much out as I was expecting. Yeah, no, she's not on her bed because I'm surprised she's not whining. She was whining before and I let her out. And then she just went to the next door and whined. She knows why she's in here. Alright, so I'm just gonna blend. Because the other part is I get to figure out how to get this part to attach to that part. There's a little bit of a hole in here that I didn't cut out. Do I need it? Yeah, it might be nice to have it in there. Also, once I get done cutting, I'll turn off the, like, making the big glare on the bed, or on the, sorry, I was reading chat. The glare on the art. The other problem with working with Yubo, this synthetic paper, it's very reflective. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of the shading done before I mix it over there, just to pop some of the values a little bit more. piece of plastic hanging on there. Alright, back to clean it in here. There's gonna be a lot of taking and removing as I figure out where my line weights and everything are going and what I need to erase and blend away. So right now, you can still see the other tooth river in there, or ribbon. You can tell how much I drew these lines in too hard and why it's not erasable by how little I'm able to blend that out right now. This is a problem with Yupo paper. You can't go back. Thank you. Yes, yeah, that's like it just happened and we were doing a bit of an experiment because I've never done this before where I essentially drew a replacement part and cut it out to put on top. So I think what I might do is use the semi-transparency. And if I can, try to kind of make this skull look like a tongue. I'm not worried about going too detailed because this is going to be covered up. But since the paper is semi-transparent, might as well. I did like my old jaw in here. It was a nice jaw. Say goodbye. And right after I got done doing that, I was like, you know what? I probably should have scanned this in before I did that. I could have at least shown the iterations. Whoops. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah, this is drawing surgery. Drawing surgery 101. The watch is informing me it's my grandpa's birthday. My grandpa has been dead for 8 years. I might need to remove that from my Google Calendar. cut this away as well on the top of the skull here. Would be just gonna hold this in place. If you're drawing it, if you're cutting it in like that. Part of me wants to do it with the acrylic technique, but the acrylic technique is once again another giant experiment that I haven't done before. This was an experiment, that's also an experiment. I'm worried it's going to be too 3D, so it might be a little bit too disjointing to use as a blending technique. Alright, I think I'm going to cut part of this in. Part of it I'm going to draw in. More drawing surgery. I'm hesitant to do this because I can't really add more once I take it off. Okay, I was messing up my angle there because I lost a little bit of the line that I was following for where to put this. Oh, that's still way too low. Alright, so that's up there. Okay, so I do think that's working. I'm just not sure how the heck to apply it to each other. Like, that's gonna have to be acrylic? I think clear acrylic? Essentially Mod Podge. Alright, so right now I'm trying to see if there's other stuff I want to erase before... I don't know if I'm going to do the gluing part on stream. Just because I'll have to glue it and let it rest for a while. Sew it in. Sorry, right now I'm like trying to hold it in place and try to get some continuity lines put in here. Wrong button. Right, but I think I've done cutting stuff on it at least, so I can turn off the super glare lights. Nope, that's worse. Hi, Raya. You're very grumpy looking. I'm so sorry that I've locked you in here and given you treats and love. The amount of death glare this dog can give me with one eye is amazing. Nope, not opening the door, girl. Acknowledged her existence, and now she's gonna beg for the door again. I'm just using paper towels to clean up the eraser crumbs, because I'm very tempted to do it with my hands, and you'll catch me constantly doing it. You can see the smudge lines from when I've been doing it. I shouldn't be. No, Raya. It's not fair when she whines. At least the electrical fire smell has gone away. That's a good sign. Suddenly a fire marshal comes on to chat. Be like, that's a sign it's gone into the walls. For those that weren't here earlier, I had to take a break in the middle or shortly after starting streaming. Or after I started working on this, because there's an electrical smoke somewhere. And I went looking and I could not identify the source, but I'm guessing something shorted. Raya. So now I'm just cleaning up my lines. Being a dutiful person, cleaning up my lines. No, girl. I know you want to, but I'm sorry, you can't. If I was smart, I would have remembered to bring a rawhide down here for you. But I forgot. Or I should say, people showed up early. Alright, I did adjust the hips here. a little bit. But double check how they're merging into each other before I do that. Raya! Oh my god, dog. The puppy yelp is not fair. She's every other stream. She's free to come and go in my office. But this one time I need her to stay in here. And she's being a giant crybaby about it. Afternoon Thai tea. Nice. That's some serious caffeine. Raya. Calm down. I know you want, but you can't. Girly. She just keeps coming up to me like, why are you not understanding my wants? Serious caffeine. Yeah. That is, I don't know if I can do Thai teas anymore. Like, caffeine doesn't affect me, like, I definitely am sleepy if I don't have some source of caffeine in the morning. But I have to be a little careful with stuff now, because, I keep getting this, like, issue where I'll all of a sudden get, like, racing heartbeat and sweats. And I'm pretty sure it's, like, the hypoglycemia. I have to go see my doctor again. Which I'm not diabetic, but I do have, my endocrine disorder messes with my insulin. So caffeine will definitely cause that to happen more often for me if I have too much at once. Caffeine, if I work out too much, if I go too long without eating. It all seems to cause it to happen. Oh my goodness. Look at a little cinnamon roll butt. Raya in her chunky winter coat is adorable. now I need the moon. My dog is so pouty. Okay. Trying to think of what I need to clean up yet. A little bit over here. Double check again. See if before I go whole hog erasing those lines, if I actually want to keep some of them. Maybe not a whole line, but maybe a little snippet. Yeah, something like that. I mean, sometimes you don't even realize how much you've been smudging a piece until you start doing this part and you're like, oh, this whole thing is just slightly tinted. Along my replacement head. I'm gonna finish cleaning up the edges up there. And I'm not like 100% done with everything. I just think I have to get this new head attached and then blend that in. So I'm gonna clean up my lines and then I'll probably take a quick break to go get my like water and everything. The acrylic I'm going to attempt to use to attach these. I will probably do a quick Google search as well. And see if that somehow is useful, even though Google searches by and large are not anymore. Yeah, so I'll do that and I'll come back, attach the replacement head to this. And then I'll pivot either to another UFO drawing. I have that dragon we started a previous stream. Or I can do more bookplate sketches for the Kickstarter. I do need to double check that I have all these parts blended in. Or drawn in before I layer something on top. So I'm just, I'm not being totally picky about everything because it's going to be largely covered up. I just want it to be something in the background. Are you talking about the one where you do pre-2022? Isn't it fun that our collective knowledge gets to end at 2022? I did at least see one good sign that Microsoft has started to back off on funding the giant AI data centers. Which finally. Oh. I think I vaguely remember seeing something about that and I was like, why are people sharing their, like, rude searches? Does it work on image searches? Because that's the plague of my existence right now. Man, I remember when everyone used to get all their reference images from Pinterest. Pinterest is useless now. There you go. I've allowed your, Good fucking bread. I actually don't know if I'm allowed to swear. I swear all the time. Alright, so test this out with replacement head. Alright, so now I'm trying to think. There's probably still a few little lines to clean up before I actually attach it. And I might darken this up. Not that pencil. Just gonna stencil a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's like some of my friends have, you know, young children, and I keep going over to their house for board game nights and stuff, and then just catching myself like 30 seconds too late. Like it's too ingrained. They're not naughty words, they're just words. My apologies if I teach anybody's children to swear. See, that's skill. Like, if the teacher complains, you're like, but did they say it wrong? See, I had, my parents swore all the time, especially my dad. Constantly swearing. And I wasn't allowed to swear, but like I didn't realize what were swear words and what weren't all the time. So there was like, my dad would call my brother downstairs and be like, or not even downstairs, he would just call my brother. He'd say, hey, Schifferbrains. He called us both Schifferbrains, but it was mostly my brother. But he would say it that fast. And I didn't realize that it was shit for brains. I thought he was saying Schifferbrains, like it was a nickname. So there was one time when I was like 4, and he's like, call your brother down for dinner. So I go to the bottom of the stairs and I yell, hey, Schifferbrains, time for dinner. And then I got my ass whooped. I'm trying to think of when my mom eventually gave up on us swearing. Like, eventually she got worn down because it was like, she couldn't really police it when my dad's swearing at literally everything in existence. Like, I think I approve of it more in the way that you're talking about White Knight, where it's like, you can say them, just not at school. Like, this is a word for certain moods, certain things, certain places. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break while I go and get my stuff to glue this. So I will be right back, and then we'll see how much you do lots of sweary cross stitch, which I love. I adore all of your sweary cross stitch. But yes, anyway, I'm gonna go find my stuff to glue this and double check. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I'm glad I googled it. Because I was just going to use clear acrylic. And apparently, since neither of these absorb water and they expand slightly, I have to get a spray-on photo adhesive, or it won't work. Or it will cause this all to bubble, which I don't want. So unfortunately, I will not be able to do anything more with this one on stream right now. I'll have to go get the adhesive, the special adhesive I need. Sorry. And that's what we get for experimenting. I mean, I think it's turning out cool. I just, once I attach it, I'll be able to blend it in more. But anyways. Okay. Does anyone have a preference for more bookplate sketches? There's also... Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with how it's turning out, which is one of the reasons why I'm not... Like, I've seen people talk about how they've experimented with gel medium and they've got, like, a 60% success ratio. But that's not good enough for me to risk it. So I will just get the correct adhesive and try that, because like I said, I do really want to try. So that does bring up the point of... Oh no, I think like acrylic will dry just fine on it, it just won't adhere. Because I was thinking about my... I was thinking about my plan to potentially add acrylic layering in there. But anyways. I don't know if people have a preference. I can work more on bookplate sketches. Or I can... work on this guy. My previous Yupo paper sketch. I have to find my piece of backing board to draw on. But if you have a preference, make it heard. At least I did work on a werewolf for Werewolf Wednesday. And a random fluffy one for a backer. Dragon? Okay. I'm getting a substantial chunk of backer plates in here. Actually, no. I was like, I keep bringing copies of the book in here to take pictures of it, but no, I think one of these is my pre-copy and one of these is the actual copy. Right now I'm just trying to find something I can put under this. Because this is the one that was previously in the sketchbook that the werewolf is in. So it doesn't have backing board right now. make do with the back of my sketchbook for now. I have things that work for smaller stuff, but not one this size. Hi. Still getting glared at. Alright, now what was I doing with this? I don't know. I know I was having problems deciding where this arm was going. Which, right off the bat, this chest is way too far forward. So yeah, I think that was why I set this down to revisit, because I was like, something's not working. Okay, back of this sketchbook is a little rougher than I was hoping. Here it is. I need to find some kind of backing board for this. Oh goodness. I was like, ideally I would just flip it to this side, but then I've got a very green logo showing through. This is my, Canson is like, it's a student brand technically, paper-wise, but I'm surprisingly impressed with a lot of the quality. Like, it can't handle a ton of washes, but it can handle, it punches above its weight. My hand might be a little bit too far forward. Which is why I didn't draw it in. Draw it in with heavy line weight yet. Still not 100% smooth. I can see ever so faint. You probably can't tell, but there's just slight jitter in the lines. Even though this is like Bristol vellum paper. Yeah. The Gin Dragon is a good idea for it. I was like, I do want it to be... I'm establishing too much anatomy, I think, right now. For what I was starting to do up here. Like, I like how this is going. And for some reason I gave up on it largely down here. I think largely because I was fleshing in the shape. But maybe instead of me having, you know, full-on limbs in here, there's just bits and pieces of it. Slightly incorporeal. Yeah, actually I like that idea better. So instead of this black ether rolling over the limbs, I'm gonna have the limbs in front of the black ether. The black ether is like forming the mass, general mass of the body. I was just trying to make this so that they're not getting lost in each other. Finally give up on begging? I'm so sorry. She's gonna move the moment I put that there. Yep, called it. I see. I know you want out. You got a little bit yet. You got a little bit. He's so grumpy with me. I'm so grumpy one day. Yeah. Hi. Now, why are you goosing me? Did you go take them? I'm sorry. There, she's being very cute and goosing me for attention. She's trying to lead me to the door. She thinks I don't know. It's a nice part about having, if I do these overlaying limbs, is it gives me the chance to play with depth a bit more. I think I'm going to sink some of these eyeballs real deep. Back to her pouting position. My question is, how much of the stomach do I want to be substantial? Maybe I should lean into what White Knight mentioned about it being a genie. I could just have it appearing from something. Maybe if I do floating scales. I still don't know 100% what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. Going with what flows into it. I could do like the floating scales. So now I'm kind of incorporating that in the rest of the body, not just the belly. Oh, she's done protest laying on the hard floor. I might be wrapping up pretty soon. I'm going a little bit longer than I usually do because I had a like 10-minute break of trying to figure out where the electrical fire was coming from. Fun, exciting times. But do need to release the hound and eat something. I might try actually streaming some this weekend as well. Like, I plan on streaming tomorrow. I'll be launching or going again at 1 o'clock. So I'm after Hylian and Absolute Worst Gamers stream. I doubt I'm not gonna have the adhesive in time to work on the werewolf for that, so that might actually be a digital art day tomorrow. Unless I can get really motivated and do some base sketches for watercolor paintings I have in mind. I'm running out of time to finish new stuff for Emerald City, so I need to wrap up the things I have been working on instead of adding yet more things. Yeah, I do need to start before noon. At least have the lobby going. It's like last time, I was like yesterday, since I wasn't streaming, I was like, okay, you should go and do all your emotes and the noises and everything. And I spent the entire time working on this big digital piece. And trying to get my back to crack. Yeah, that's a good thing. A good quote. Starting things and finishing things. I have so many things in my to-do list. You have no idea. But yeah, the piece I was trying to finish, I also was trying to finish because the Wizards opened up their stuff again, and it looks like they actually have concept art jobs this time. And even though Wizards kind of has a lot of nightmare stories I keep hearing about it, work is work. And it would be cool to actually, everybody has told me for years that I should work at Wizards. It would be nice to be able to finally be like, I do, or I did. Belly scales are a little too boring right now. I need to put a little bit of a pattern in it. Now it looks like a bell. Are you talking about Eric? I know people, well, there's Maya as well, but like, the art side? Most of the people I knew on the art side at Wizards have left. And it's like, I've technically had ins at the studio for a while now. And I've never heard anything back from any of the art calls I've submitted to. Yeah, most of the people I know are ex-wizards, or at most they like went from being lead or AD, and now they do just like contract commission illustration work for them, but not like full-time work. Having both eyes and scales is too confusing. They're too similar to each other. I think eyes are fine if I keep them up there. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, every ex-Wizards person I know has horror stories. I'm sure it depends on the team you're on. Like, when I worked for Blizzard, that was a nightmare. But, like, I met people that had a blast there, but they were on, like, a different team. And it's just, it really depends on your team. Blend this in. Right now it's very much the focal point because I made it the most contrasty point. But I will be going back once, you know, taking the acrylic stand and coming back in here. Anyways, so I was saying, I was trying to finish an illustration for that. That would also be a print for Emerald City, a new print for Emerald City. Hold on. Someone knocking on the door. So yeah. So trying to finish up the digital print, so that might be what I'm doing tomorrow, is doing final touches on that. This, if I actually try to stream, I don't know if I'll stream Sunday, but I might try Saturday. Because we're nearing the end of the Kickstarter. And try and kind of marathon the last week, because we're technically 1 week left. And we were doing pretty well for a little bit, and then I had a bunch of cancellations. So I'd like to try to hype that up a little bit more. Or cancellations and adjustments. But yeah, so I might stream on. I don't know if it's gonna be a gaming or an art stream though. Maybe I might do two. We'll see. We'll see how alive I am, because I'm also so very tired. Hyping yourself up while the world's on fire is exhausting, yo. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be completely fried by the time Emerald City comes around. I'm fortunate that my one friend has offered to come help, and I was like, I don't know how much I'll be able to pay you. And he says he'll do it for free, but I definitely don't want that, so I'll hopefully be able to work something out there, but I'll be happy to have, at least for the weekend, someone there to kind of be the face. The weekdays is just me, so that might be a little rough. I'm like technically wasting this piece of paper underneath. I'll use it for something else, because I'm blending off the edge of the paper. Yes, and then still gotta decide what is for this weekend, or Friday's game. I've got a few more options. I'll talk about that a bit more tomorrow. But yeah. I'm like zoning out drawing on this, but I don't know if this one's going to be a print for Emerald City. I like these drawings, my Yupo paper sketches, but my more like random ones like this don't tend to sell as prints well. I also gotta do some finagling on my website, because I had a bunch of people asking about ordering stuff overseas, and that's all messed up with bats right now, so I need to figure that out. Hurry, I get this Kickstarter shipped out before anything more at the post office gets messed with. This is actually giving me another idea for a dragon painting. That would be really cool. That may have to be a digital one. To get the material rendering I'm thinking of, but now I'm thinking of pine cones and sap and fun things like that. Another thing to add to my to-do list. I definitely needed more of that. I will eventually get sounds. Yeah, that's just it. Is most people, like, I turned it off. Shipping to EU and the UK. But now I've got a bunch of people trying to get stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't have the rep or whatever that you're supposed to have, because I looked into them and they're like $2,000 a year. So, but people are like, oh, it's fine, I'll just eat the VAT's cost. So I was like, alright, that's on you, but I'm not totally sure if that's how it will work. I'm gonna ship stuff and ship this Kickstarter and turn stuff off, and hopefully it won't bite me in the ass. I don't know. It feels like a gigantic oversight for both the EU and the UK to have it set up that people, like small businesses, can't afford to ship to their countries anymore. Is that the intention? I don't think that's the intention. But we'll see. Who knows? They can come after me for money. Yeah, well, that's probably the worst case scenario, but I don't got much. Good luck. I saw it when I walked, boy. Anyways, alright, I'm gonna call this here because I'm starting to noodle stuff that I'm not totally sure if I like. I'll be back tomorrow streaming around 1, probably shortly before 1 I'll try starting. Doing more art. Well, we'll see how far I get into stuff depending on what I do, what I'll end up working on tomorrow. Let's see the blending that happened on the edge there. But, anyways. I gotta go do the other 1,500 things on my to-do list. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna close that in there for now. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're my good nerds. I love ya. Alright, have a good day. Bye-bye.